Good morning. For our month of joy, card number 1, I wanted to start where I've already downloaded it out of the classroom to my computer. I saved it. I need to remember where. The good part about my SVGs are you don't need to unzip them or do anything else to them. They're ready to go. So all I need to do is open up Design Space, make sure that I'm using my Cricut Joy if that's the cutting machine that I'm using. You can use any of the others as well, but I'm designing these so they'll fit in the Cricut Joy to make it easy. You're going to say upload, and you're going to remember where you put it. I put mine on my desktop. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find my SVG right here. Joy card, SVG 1, Joy card 1. I can add little keynotes here, things that I might want to remember about it. I don't usually, but you can. You could put my name, you could put month of joy, other things that you might want to search by later. You're going to say upload, click on it, say add to the canvas. I am using the desktop version of Design Space. I find it's much easier the first time around to work in Design Space on my computer than it is on my phone. It will work, but it's just tricky. It's little. It's hard to get all the little details on the tiny screen. So I like to work in here. I'll show you how to transfer it, and you will be able to open it. What I like to do is work on it in here, get it the way I want it, then save it as a project, and then I can cut it from my phone wherever I am, or my tablet. Okay, so I'm in here, and I can see that there's pieces to this card over here. It comes in grouped together. If I want to kind of take a peek around and take a look at it, I can ungroup it, and I can take the pieces apart. This is grouped as well, so ungroup that. And now this gray layer, I like to call this the shadow layer. This is the layer of my SVGs that work to tell you where to put things. I am not a big measurer. I don't like to measure and worry about that. So I like to have things that make it easy for me. So let's take a look at this in relation to the actual card, all right? So the card that I shared with you, and you can certainly make it with whatever you want. You don't have to use the same card as I am, the same paper as I'm using. I am using Design Space. Designer Series paper from Stampin Up because I love it. And I'm going to bring that card in a minute. There it is. Sorry, it took me a second to get it. Right here is where the card's going to go. There's a lot of technology going on in this picture, gang. We have our joy, we have the computer that I'm sharing with you, and the card. So let's zoom down a little so we're not distracted by all the other details. All right, so this is the card. Now remember, these cards are designed to go on a card base. There's a video below that talks to you about how to cut them, but basically you're going to take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. I like to use, and I'm going to show you both of these, there is basic white, and then there is thick basic white. Thick basic white is just what its name says. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier. I'm going to take that and my trimmer, and again, I can use any color that I want. I'm going with white. I'm going to cut it at 5.5. Now, there's also an SVG in the classroom, but it doesn't fit in the Joy. It has to go with a bigger Cricut. Because I wanted you to be able to do this only with the Joy, honestly, the trimmer is just as easy. The Stampin' Up! Trimmer has a cutter and a scoring blade. I've set it at 4.25, and I'm going to score it. And now my card base is all ready. And that's what your card base looks like. All right? It is 5.5 this way, 4 1/4 this way. All right, so now let's go back into Design Space for a second. See that kind of pinky color one? Let's see if I can add both cameras to you. Hold on, I can. That pinky color one, this one, this is this piece right here, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Now, I want to tell you that, I'm going to grab this one. I also share with you how I set up my paper so I have it easy peasy. I took a pack of 12 by 12 and I cut it into 4-inch strips. There's another piece in there. 4-inch strips and then 6 inches long. So I took my 12 by 12, I cut it into 3 strips, 4 inches wide, and then I cut it across this way at 6 inches. Now I have this collection of paper that's ready to go to make my cards. So I'm not like putzing around trying to find a piece. So here is the piece that's going to give me that. Now, I could let my Joy do it, but again, sometimes it's easier to just use a trimmer. It wouldn't be easy to cut this by hand, but I could cut this by hand if I wanted. Totally up to you. If you think you want to do that, look in Design Space, click on that, and see what size it is. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. Well, remember it's already 4 inches, right? So now I can just take this and make it 5 1/4 and trim it. And now this piece is already done. So I've already done the pink one over here. I can skip that. I don't need Cricut to do it. So I can come right over here and turn off that eyeball. Now this is all I need Cricut to do. All right? So what's the yellow? In my card, the yellow is this cloud paper. So that's my yellow layer in Design Space, all right? Then, what is the gray layer? In Design Space, it's gray. On my card, it's called Pool Party. It's this one right under here. Let me slide you over so you can see it. It's Pool Party, is that one. So here is a sheet of Pool Party, but I need to make sure that it's going to fit on my mat, right? My Joy mat, which is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. So I'm going to cut this paper 4 1/2 because I want it to fit on my Joy mat. 4 1/2, and I can just go with 6 because I'm telling you the card's not going to be longer than that. So you can simply cut that 6 inches. That's easy peasy. So now this is going to be the gray layer. This layer right here is going to be this Pool Party. When I go to cut it out, that's what I'm going to do. And then the last layer is the white layer, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my white cardstock and I'm going to trim it so that it will fit on my, I want 4 1/2 by 6 or 6 1/2. So 4 1/2. And I'm just going to let it can be longer. Longer's okay. Shorter's not good. I'm going to leave it like that because I might use this piece later. And that's going to be my white layer. So now I have my cards all set up for me. This is how it's going to go into the machine. But I don't need to worry about my card base, and I don't need to worry about this piece. And I will tell you a little trick. What I do here is I glue this down now because I will lose it. Guarantee I won't know where it is when I get all done playing with my Cricut. So when I've done my card base, and that kind of helps me figure out my colors, because I might say, well, you know what? I could pick this green and do my shadow out of that green. That might look cool. Or maybe I'm going to do my shadow out of a different color. Then I'm going to go ahead and tell Cricut to make it. It's going to send everything. Now remember, I turned off that pink layer because I already did it. I don't want Cricut to do it. So now it's going to want our shadow layer. Which one was that? That was this one. So that's going to load into the machine first, and it's going to cut out basically what it tells, what I am telling Cricut where everything's going to go on my card. I like to think of this as like the back of a puzzle that all the pieces are going to fit into. So I'm going to run this through my Cricut. It's going to cut it out, and then it's going to tell me to do the next one. The next one is the white layer. I'm going to load white on here and load it in. It'll cut, kick it out. And then last but not least is the yellow layer, which in my case is really the clouds. And that's going to load in and come out. And then I'm ready to put this all together. The circle was on the white layer, right? So in the white layer, I got the circle and the tag, and that's what I'm going to stamp on. I found a stamp that would fit on here. I also did a little bit of inking because this, now I can play with it. Now I'm going to decorate it. And I used my foam, my blending brush, which I had here a second ago. I told you I would lose things. Oh, here it is. My blending brush. These are things that I talk about in the other video about some of my favorite tools and favorite things to use from Stampin' Up. But again, you can use anything you want. You don't have to do that. You could just leave it plain white and just stamp on it. I used some of this and some Pool Party ink. And I added just a little bit of shading around the circle. I popped it up using Stampin' Dimensionals. Dimensionals are so fun. They are little pieces of foam that pop up and make your card pieces stand out. Can you see? It's a little higher, and if you look down and back, you can see the dimensional, right? I stamped on this tag, and I grabbed a sweet little eyelet, which again I've lost, and added that to it. Then I opened it up. Don't forget to stamp on the inside. Thank you for your friendship. All right? All right. Go give it a try. See how it goes for you. If you have any questions or something doesn't work right, come on back and let me know. When you get all done cutting, go back to cancel, turn this back on, and put this all back together. It helps you to know how you're, you come first, how you're going to put this together. Notice that my cloud background, or the yellow in here, fits behind the shadow. And then those pieces just fit right in there. And put your card together. All right? Okay. Go ahead. Let's see what yours look like. I can't wait to see. Post them in our Facebook group. We don't have a private Facebook group. I have my Facebook page, or I'll put the links in of where you can post it. Sorry, I'm sounding really, let me put a simple place to post it so you're not all over the place. I will talk to you soon. Bye.